Ecowas report shown by Tinubu shows in paragraph 17 that the election was marred by killings, Kenneth Okonkwo says. Can you imagine? So when EU released their report last week, and everything about that report indicted APC, INEC, and all the individuals that actually participated in Nigerian election. And it was obvious that the election was mad and rigged, and INEC never followed their guidelines. INEC never followed the Electoral Act of 2022, and INEC never followed any electoral law in Nigeria. They're supposed to be custodian of those laws, but rather they choose to ignore everything about the law. And so when EU released this report, APC kicked, Tinubu kicked. All of them were angry. Okay, that this guy cannot tell us. These guys cannot tell us how to run Nigeria. Even who was that? Is it one of the APC chieftains? I think Bayo Nanuga or someone else. Odela Lake, yes, came to say that democracy is not 100 meters, and what is his name? EU should let us be. Okay, and they still came out to beg EU to let us be and to suspend on how they release the information they get about Nigeria. Okay, so why this case is going on, I know that prior to this time, ECOWAS election observation team also made their own report, and then Nigeria took that, but it was more diplomatic. It wasn't as raw as that of the EU. Okay, so Kenneth Okonkwo, a chief spokesperson of the Labour Party and also one of the lawyers representing Labour Party, has come out to say that the ECOWAS report that Tinubu showed, okay, that Tinubu brought, shows in paragraph 17 that the election was marred by killings. I'm sure they must have tendered that ECOWAS report to counter the EU report. But again, that ECOWAS report also has some sections that are also indicting. So that is what is happening now from a Labour Party, Okonkwo. So they mean that Tinubu ended up indicting himself. In a tweet that was made by Kenneth Okonkwo, who happens to be the official spokesperson to the Labour Party Presidential Campaign Council for 2023 presidential election, he has revealed the outcome of the last court session at the Presidential Election Tribunal in Abuja. In a tweet he made on his Twitter page or Twitter handle, he said that one of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's lawyers, Michael Bamidele, who identified all the documents that were tendered, also tendered an ECOWAS report as regarding the conduct of the 2023 presidential election. However, the ECOWAS report that was tendered by the respondent also indicated that the election was marred with violence and killings of Nigerians. He said they presented their first witness, Senator Michael Bamidele, a legislator and a lawyer, who also claimed to be called to the New York, USA bar, and who identified all the documents tendered in the evidence which he pleaded in his witness statement on oath. Further talking, he said they tendered ECOWAS report on the election, and the petitioners tendered the EU report on the elections. The ECOWAS report tendered by the respondents stated in paragraph 17 that the election was marred by violence and killings of Nigerians and Labour Party members. Bagam. So it means that they did not read it thoroughly, so they did not see that section. Okay, I'm sure if they had seen it, probably they would have expunged it from the report before presenting the edited report. Okay, but I'm sure they didn't see this one. It took them unawares, and they ended up indicting themselves, because this paragraph 17 that showed that the election was marred by violence, okay, and killing, is indicting to APC. It's indicting to APC and corroborates what EU initially reported. That is it. So that is what. So these guys are not thorough, and that is why they are closing up their cases, or their case with APC. Well, I mean with Labour Party and with Peter Obi, okay, and then PDP and Atiku, because of all the evidences tendered by PDP and the Labour Party. um, um, APC does not have any document to counter those reports, those exhibits. That is the truth. And that is why the first day they had only one witness that came out for to testify on behalf of APC and Tinubu. Okay. And the other three witnesses from APC that were supposed to come to testify against Labour Party, they ran away. They couldn't show their face or their faces. So this shows that it's a very complex case for APC, for INEC, and for Tinubu because they are not getting support from the public. They are not getting anything from anywhere that is going to help them handle this case in a very competitive manner, and that is why they closed their case with what they call with PDP and Atiku. I think they've started closing their case with Labour Party, meaning that they don't have anything to say, they don't have anything to offer, they don't have anything to present to counter the allegation put on their neck. Ha! This is a very, very interesting one. Okay, so the Peter Obi and Labour Party has submitted a lot of overwhelming evidences to the point that they even brought plasma TV to the tribunal to show them everything that Mahmoud said before the election and how he promised and mandatorily committed himself to transmit the election live. But he never did all of that. Okay, the documents that Labour Party and Atiku had presented at the tribunal, APC, INEC, and Tinubu do not have anything to counter those submissions that came from Labour Party and the PDP. It's quite unfortunate. So automatically the case has taken a turn, the case has taken a direction, but the question is, will the judges be holistic enough? Will the judges be holistic enough to issue the judgment in the right way? Because what people are expecting is that APC, INEC will be defeated in court. And that is why everybody is in court to witness it. Oh, now wow. I pity APC, seriously. I pity Tinubu. And that is why probably they are doing everything to clean up all the criminal records in the anti-graft and anti-corruption agency offices across Nigeria. They started in Lagos, they started in Abuja, and anywhere Tinubu and his allies or aides have case, they will go there and then clean up the record. I would not be surprised if DSS started reading courts, or they call both lower court and higher courts. Okay, I will not be surprised if DSS started reading those places to remove judgment document from those courts, so that they can, so that somebody that has been convicted will say, I'm not convicted because there's no document to prove. Hey. Now, wow, this DSS is going somewhere with APC or with Tinubu. They are going somewhere. But God will deliver Nigeria. So that is what happened in court. According to Kenneth Okonkwo, APC presented an evidence that spoke against them at some point. And what is that evidence? Okay, Ecowas report on Nigerian election 2023 in paragraph 17 showed that the election was marred by violence and killings, and that corroborated the report that came from the EU. APC is finished. They're not tactical. They're just working with power the way Agbero do, just to to cling to power. But it is obvious that they don't have anybody to defend them, and they don't have case to make because, or rather, they have a lot of cases to make, but they do not have enough evidences to counter those cases to be able to get a judgment in their favor. So na gra they go use now. God I beg you. So thank you for listening, and let's have a comment.